Turning now to the economy, we've been trying to stick to this as much as we can. The two-tiered economy, where people, yes, the S&P 500 record high just yesterday, gold record high. So if you have some of those assets, you're doing well. But beneath the surface and behind the scenes, a lot of stuff happening for people who are making less than $100,000. Let's go and put this up here on the screen. Lower income Americans are missing car payments. So more Americans are struggling to make monthly car loan payments, a sign that the lower income consumers are under growing financial pressure. The share of subprime auto loans that are 60 days or more past has nearly a high of 6.5% and has lingered near that level. Repos have swelled. More drivers are trading in vehicles that are worth less than they owe, meaning that they're upside down. And lenders such as CarMax and Ally Financial have warned investors about auto loan performance. Quote, despite stubborn inflation and punishing tariffs, the U.S. economy on its surface appeared to hold up relatively well. The stock market has climbed, company executives for the most part remain upbeat, and consumers overall are still spending, but it's largely those top 10% consumers, which are the weakness is that the auto market is one of the clearest indications that lower and middle class income families could be starting to buckle because many Americans need cars to get around. Auto loan delinquency is a telling gauge of financial hardship. That's actually a good proxy, right? It's like one of the last things that you're going to go bust on is repossessions. I'm not sure I'm not the only one, but videos of repo men literally go viral all the time. And it does feel, maybe it's algorithmic, I'm not sure, my own personal bias, but I do certainly see them go everywhere. And I think you combine that with some of the other stuff, particularly with the segment we're going to do later on with David Dayen. The real risk to our economy right now, Ryan, is that, you know, if you're already making less than 100,000, like you're basically not bust, but you're really struggling. And if 50% of all consumer spending is just from the top 10%, a slight pullback in that is just enough to send us into a recession.
Yeah, and what you said is exactly right. If you lose your car in
you
this,
can't do anything.
Like, you know,
Unless you live in a city.
Small percentage of people live walkable enough that they can get to work, etc. That's not the situation for like a massive portion of Americans. And so when you start struggling, your rent is the thing you stop paying first, maybe because it's much harder to get evicted. And then your credit card, your student loans, definitely you're not paying those. What are they going to do? Take your degree back? Eventually, you keep paying the things that you need, and you need your car. And then when you stop paying for that, then now you're dodging the repo man.
Yeah.
And if you lose your car, then you're bumming rides to work. You might lose your job. It's a very downward spiral. That's why the bean counters look at this number because through all of that pain and suffering is an economic indicator, which is that if people are falling behind on their car payments, that means everything else is going really badly. That's exactly right. There's another metric I track very closely. Let's go ahead and put here up on the screen. When I saw this, I said, sell everything, because this is the biggest indicator of impending economic disaster. The number of people who registered to take the LSAT in September 2024 was 18,811. The number of people who registered to take it in September 2025 is 32,170. So let's explain, shall we? What it is that anybody who is my age is just old enough to remember this, is back in the Great Recession. I mean, you lived through this, Ryan. You were entering the job market at that time. If you entered the job market between 2009 and 2012, you were dead, right? You're basically entering one of the worst wage job markets of all time. So what a lot of people did, especially those who graduated, let's say in 2009, is they said, okay, screw it. I'm just going to have to go to law school. I'm going to have to business school. Yes, I'm going to have to leverage myself with some debt, but hopefully things will have cleaned up. I'll have gained a credential in the meantime. It's kind of a stopgap measure for a lot of people. It's nice if you can afford it, but it's definitely bad if you're taking out hundreds of thousands of dollars in loans. Just to add to that, and then you go on. Let's say you graduated in 2005. You've been working for 2-3 years.
Right,
you just got laid off, and you're staring at now years of unemployment. Like there was this whole thing back then, what they called the 99ers, people who would exhaust 99 weeks of unemployment. And so you're like, well, I could sit around and just suffer, because like there's not, it's an extraordinary amount of suffering.
Yes.
To be looking for work. It's an assault on your dignity as well as your finances. And so you're like, well, if I'm going to be sitting around for 3 years anyway, might as well at least try to come out with a credential that can make me more
employable down the line.
Yeah, and actually what we saw is that the number of people who took the LSAT actually dropped after the economy started to get better. So it is one of those like very good indications about how people are doing. And eventually, as the economy got better, so let's say to 2012, it fell even more precipitously. But the fact that it has such a large spike is genuinely one of those like 2009, it's the exact same thing. I'm looking right here at the statistics, substantial jump of some 20 to 40% in law school applications just in the 2009 to 2010 school year. So this is the same number if you look at what that is, almost double actually. So very similar metric. It just goes to show you at the lower level of the job market, there is a crushing feeling of this isn't going to get better. And so I might as well just take out some debt and deal with it. I will also add though, this may be one of the worst times to do it because not only do we have AI, which is on the horizon, but also, you know, for people who are out there, please pay very attention to the law. So there's something called a grad plus loan. Are you aware of what that is?
Yeah.
Right. So
50,000
previously,
cap now.
exactly. So previously, this grad plus loan was one of the most used student loan federal programs for medical students and for law students. Now, the United States Congress in their recent legislation has capped that at 50,000. And so there are some schools, I recently saw statistics that for the very first year ever, I think it's Santa Clara, I need to check
Pulling it back.
which law school, they had their tuition at 70,000, but then the law changed and they changed it to 50. I was like, oh, interesting. Interesting.
Because the 70 was kind of a fake sticker price.
It's all fake.
Yeah.
All right. So there are two options that are right now. Is that one is that, yes, maybe law school prices will drop. I am deeply hopeful for that. Personally, I think we should make the grad plus zone 0, and then we'll really see what the market rate for law school is. My guess is a couple $1,000s. But the real like change here could be the Yales, the Harvards, let's say any in a T15, top 25 law school, any of those, they're not going to change. You know, people are going to get leverage no matter what, whether it's grad plus or not. That's where I get scared, you know, for people is that they'll not only even have access to the grad plus loan, they have to get a private loan. Private loan is going to have a, you know, usurious interest rate right now. And you could really get stuck in a deep hole. And you're basically banking on an entire career that works out when you have a technology environment right now where you just don't know. I mean, again, I'm not a lawyer. I know a lot. From what I know, AI has not come yet. There's still a lot of guild checks in the system, but I can't be the only person who says, hey, you know, especially the lawyers who I grew up with, their first 2-3 years in the industry, it was bullshit. It was like, you know,
document review.
It was doc review. It was, you know, working. They would, when the partners went to bed, that's when you started to work and you have to do your research and make sure that the footnotes are, I mean, it's like investment banking. It's just pure scut work. And that's one of those where that I'm fairly certain ChatGPT could do, or at the very least, you could use it to check your work and then come, but the workload is going to be much, much less. Right. So that's where I really start to worry, you know, for some of these
especially with the doc review.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
like just
that's
being able
the
to
definition of automated, right?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully, I mean, I don't put a value judgment on it. There are so many like fake cases that seem to have been seeded into the world. I don't know if like a Thomson Reuters or like some other of these companies that you have to pay to get access to their cases are like genuinely like seeding the world with like fake cases, the way that like hippies would put like a spike in a tree.
Interesting. Yeah.
Something's going on that is putting in all of these made up, completely hallucinated cases that then AIs are then writing into their memos that they're writing, and judges are coming down hard on them, saying like, "Oh, this is clearly AI. You're sanctioned. You're fined." So at least you will need humans to like read the AI briefs and then actually go and check the cases to see if it's not hallucinating.
Well, you should be checking it anyways. I can't tell you the number of times that I'll use ChatGPT for research, and I'm like, wait, that's wrong. I'll be like, I know that that's wrong, right? It's one of those where,
I think it might
and then
be,
I'll say, hey, that's wrong. And they're like, oh, you're right. It is wrong.
But if you work at like Thomson Reuters or one of these other places, reach out to me because
oh yeah, I actually that would be a great story.
And if I were them, I would do it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You know, why not?
Be like
Protect your business.
And Jetty versus Grimm is this powerful Supreme Court case, and you can put it somewhere where the AIs will crawl it, but nobody else can find it.
Yeah.
Man.
My dream is to get my name attached to a landmark case on marijuana. Enjetti versus the United States, or Enjetti versus the state of Colorado. So my name can live forever. All right, let's go ahead and put this one up here
My
on the
Enjetti
screen.
rights. I need my Enjetti rights.
Yeah, the Miranda rights, Enjetti rights. The Enjetti right to, there was actually a huge case here in Washington, D.C., where a woman sued her neighbor for smoking weed and won, actually, and won. She is my personal hero right now.
Those are her.
So the home
she defended
sellers
her Enjetti
now
rights.
outnumber buyers by more than 500,000. That is the largest gap ever recorded. So yeah, you know, things are scary. And the reason why this scares me is the price still has not adjusted, right? So even though the sellers are outnumbering the buyers, the law of elasticity would tell you that the price should come down. The price is not going down, all right? It's actually staying flat. And in some cases, in the big metro areas, they're going up, which I just don't understand. I don't know how it's possible, but there's something where I have said now this entire time, it feels like it has to crack, but it doesn't. And I think that's what scares me the most is we've lived through these crazy times now since June of 2020. It's been 5 years, more than 5 years of an insane housing market. Doesn't sound that long, let's say if you're 60. If you're my age and you're 33, that's a long time. I wasn't even married with a child 5 years ago, right? Your life can change rapidly in 5 years. Let's say you're 28 years old. You're right around that time where you're like, yeah, you know, I'm thinking about it. Oh, 7% interest rate, terrible housing market. I can't afford it. I don't have the savings. Let's say I'm either getting laid off or I'm not getting the raise that I thought I was going to get. Inflation is eating away at my bottom line. Those are the people I think about the most right now.
And I think what you're looking at there is a standoff. And I think, and this is the reason that you're not seeing the prices crash yet. You have most of those sellers there have some type of 3% interest rate that they're sitting on. And so their monthly payment
very low
is something that they can afford as long as they're staying employed. And so they can wait out the buyers. Buyers are looking at a 7-8% interest rate, which sends your monthly mortgage costs, you know, absolutely through the roof, which changes the amount of house that you can then buy. So if you're a seller and you're selling on your 3% mortgage, now when you go to buy a new home, you're going to have to take out this 8% loan.
Right.
So there's that huge gap. And so people are staring at that and saying, you know what? I need a lot more money to be able to get an equal house. And the person's like, well, why would I give you that much money when...
No, I mean, it makes perfect sense.
So it's two people just staring at each other. And I think the only way this breaks, I guess eventually the force of like economic decline could do it because enough people just can't make their payments anymore. But really, interest rates have to move.
Yes, that's right.
But
they're not.
You can't.
That's the thing. They're
this
just not.
Crazy world of where you have 3 and 8, like the buyers at 8 and then the sellers at 3. Like trying to find a place where they can meet in the middle is proving to be impossible. Like that's why you're seeing this record gap.
That's such a good point. Yeah, and a lot of people are stuck in houses that they don't even want to be in. I know a lot of them. They have like 3 children and they're like, I'm not moving. I can't afford it. I literally cannot afford to move. Let's go and put the next one up on the screen. This is, we wanted to bring it back to the shutdown. There is in fact a shutdown happening, by the way, if anybody's forgotten. It's actually the 4th week of the shutdown. Not that anybody cares, apparently. And so these Obamacare prices were the things that the Democrats really were zeroing in on. And there's been new public reporting now of these higher prices that are now actually revealed in over a dozen states. It says consumers are now facing greater costs for their 2026 ACA health coverage as Congress continues to debate whether to extend subsidies that help people afford their premiums. So health insurance prices for next year under the Affordable Care Act now available. The annual enrollment period for Obamacare starts on November 1st. The costs are becoming publicly available piecemeal through state marketplaces. People shopping for coverage can now preview the costs they face from potentially expiring subsidies, sharply rising premiums in many markets, including California, New York, Nevada, Maryland, and Idaho. Man, California, New York, what? That's a huge portion of the entire U.S. population. Based on newly published information, a family of 4 making $130,000 in Maine would face an increase of $16,000 in annual premiums just next year because they would no longer qualify for generous subsidies. And that is from the Center for Budget and Policy Priorities. That's devastating, $16,000. That's after-tax income.
That's one of those where you read and you're like, that can't be right.
Right.
That has to be wrong.
That's huge.
An increase of $16,000, and like you said, after tax income. So the family of 4 making 135.
Well, I guess technically tax deductible. Whatever. I'm not an accountant, but yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Yeah. yes, you can write that off. That's true. But your income is not, your actual income is going to be more like 100, even though you can write a lot of that off. But that's brutal. And so what's interesting here, let me read something from a related report, which says, so the expiration of enhanced tax credits will lead to out-of-pocket premiums for ACA marketplace enrollees increasing by an average of more than 75%. This is the doubling that you keep hearing about. So they're guessing that it won't be a complete and total doubling, with insurers expecting healthier enrollees to drop coverage. That in turn increases underlying premiums. So just to make sure everyone's clear on what's going on here, we're going to double the price almost of these exchanges. A lot of people are going to look at that $16,000 price tag that they're facing for next year, and they're going to say, I can't afford that. It's not even a choice of whether or not I want to buy this. I don't have the money for it, so I'm just dropping health insurance. Insurers have already gamed that out. They know that they're estimating $2 million for next year and then increasing as it goes on. Okay, so it's the healthiest people who are the most likely to say, you know what, family is going to have to go no insurance this year. And so if you lose the healthy people from the pool, you then have to charge everybody else more. So not only are you losing the subsidy, which is driving the price up 75%, they're estimating, then they're already forecasting to regulators that they're going to raise the underlying price by 20%.
Yeah.
That is a year-over-year increase that is utterly unsustainable and insane.
Right.
20% in 1 year?
It's horrible. But, I keep coming back to what Crystal said with Corbin Trent,
This is a devastating point.
This is the devastating point. The whole fight is we can't afford to go back to normal Obamacare. Well, if this is normal Obamacare, this sucks.
I said it at the time.
Yeah, it's like, this is horrible.
Yes.
This is horrible. The only reason people signed up were because of pandemic era subsidies for health insurance. And now that it's reverting back to people are like, whoa. I'm like, I didn't know that this is what the normal program was. And that's actually kind of a Republican talking point, which is not incorrect. It's like, if this was the normal marketplace, then what the hell are we doing here? I got some of these older figures. In Kentucky, a 60-year-old couple making $85,000 will face an increase of $23,700.
Right, they make 80-some thousand, and their increase is a quarter of their
$23,700. I'm rolling the dice till I get Medicare. Personally, right? If you're healthy, I'm like, let's roll the dice.
Right.
Don't take any buses. Don't go in a crosswalk.
And that's what they expect people will do.
Yeah.
And so costs are going to go through the roof. The best thing that people said about the ACA at the time was, well, this is a first step and they'll fill it in with subsidies. And then they did, and now they let them go. Now you have to fight to get them back. But yes, it's utterly absurd. It's outrageous. And it shows why you need universal coverage. Because without universal coverage, the healthiest people aren't in it, and then everybody else pays more. So yeah, the politics play an interesting role here.
Yeah, this is really what I want your opinion on, because it does look like the Senate Democrats are going to cave.
Right, because so if you're just listening to this is Andrew Desdorio, Hill reporter, saying, are Senate Dems eyeing November 1st as a shutdown off-ramp? Dems think they can argue it's no longer feasible to address the expiring ACA subsidies legislatively and make GOP own the resulting premium hikes. No decision yet, but this idea is picking up steam. So in other words, saying, okay, well, the exchanges open up for business on November 1st, and this is what we're fighting for. So if we get past November 1st, we can then save face and say, okay, look, we tried. We tried to save Republicans from themselves. We tried to stop Republicans from doubling your health insurance costs. They refused. Now they're doubled. It's done. Let's open the government up. And then you've had, was it Thune yesterday saying, I will negotiate, and what Republicans have been saying is we will negotiate around these subsidies, but we won't do it with a gun to our head, which is hilarious because it's like the exact reverse of what the party said during the last shutdown. There is no principle in process ever. Like, don't. If anybody claims that they believe in a process, they're lying. They don't. They just believe in outcomes. So in the previous case, it was Democrats who said, why can't you negotiate with the government open? Because Biden was president.
Yes.
Now it's Republicans saying, why can't you negotiate with the government open? Because Trump president.
Because Trump is president. Right.
And that's all that matters. So Democrats could say, all right, look, we tried. And also, from a cynical perspective, Schumer, I'm not Schumer personally, but Democrats in general, they're personally, you know what? If Trump wants to hurt 20 million people and let the whole country know that he's doing it to them,
then let him do it.
Then let him do it, and we'll reap the political
Yeah, but then
rewards.
why'd you shut the government down for a month?
Because nobody would have known otherwise. Like they would have gotten their increase and been like, oh, this is terrible. But like life sucks.
Yeah.
Now they can say, look, we told you Trump was doing this. We fought for you. Trump fights against you. That check you're writing, remember Donald Trump's name while you're writing it. So that's their theory.
I could see it. It's just a little weak for me. It's like, if that's the political calculus, then keep the government shut down, okay? I mean, because again, and Crystal's made this point, I'm sure you agree with it. If you ask those no kings people, yeah, there are gonna be some signs about Obamacare. That's not what they're mad about, right? They're mad about ICE. They're mad about all this other stuff going on, right? So for them, they're like, screw you. Why should I fund you? You think these ICE agents aren't getting paid? Fine by me, right? For a lot of them, they're saying there's no reason to fund this government. Make their life a little bit more difficult. Force them to do stupid shit like, I don't know, firing an artillery shell that explodes over the city of Los Angeles. I mean, if I'm a Dem, I'm going to take that all day long, right? Yes, it's very painful for a lot of the for the federal workers, et cetera. But pawns have to be played in the field of battle.
The problem for Democrats is that Republicans only have to peel off a few, and they're good.
Okay.
So Democrats as a leadership can want whatever they want, but if Republicans can get a couple, I don't know, we'll see. But November 1st is, it's still a ways away.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll see, Ryan. I'm very curious. Okay, let's get to AIPAC. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.